Welcome to my channel, Everyday English Hub. Every once in a while, I meet a student who changes my perspective as a teacher. This story is about a clever, hardworking boy named Aman, who worked in a small garage. He was not rich. He didn't wear fancy clothes or have expensive books. But what he had was curiosity and a strong desire to learn English. He fixed bikes and scooters all day, yet never missed a moment to learn. In his dirty hands and greasy shirt lived a dream: to speak English fluently. He believed English could change his life and connect him to the world. His dedication inspired me, and today I want to share his story with you. Let's walk through his daily routine, his efforts, and his growth. You will learn English, and maybe a bit of courage, along the way. Aman's life teaches us that environment does not limit learning. Even if you're working in a garage, your mind can be free and sharp. So sit back, listen closely, and improve your English with his journey. Remember, if Aman can do it, so can you. Let's begin. A man's morning routine. A man wakes up every day at 5:30 in the morning. The air is still cold and the world is quiet. He washes his face and brushes his teeth quickly. Then, he makes a cup of tea for himself and his mother. While drinking tea, he listens to English audio on his phone. He has downloaded podcasts and lessons to learn vocabulary. Sometimes, he repeats words aloud to practice pronunciation. After tea, he reads one page from a grammar book. He highlights new words and checks their meanings. At 6:30, he takes a short walk, repeating English phrases in his mind. His favorite sentence is, "I can learn anything if I try hard." This routine gives him a head start before work begins. He believes that learning in the morning helps memory. His morning is simple but powerful for his mind. That's how his journey starts every day. The garage begins. By 8 a.m., Aman reaches the small garage where he works. It's a busy place filled with sounds of engines and tools. He greets the senior mechanics with respect and a smile. He wears a blue uniform and quickly gets to work. His tasks include cleaning tools, changing oil, and fixing tires. Even while working, he keeps his English notebook nearby. When there's free time, he writes down new English words. He names tools in English, like screwdriver, wrench, and bolt. He talks to customers in broken English to practice speaking. Sometimes they laugh, but he smiles and keeps trying. He even made flashcards and stuck them on the garage wall. Clutch equals clutch. Brake equals brake. Engine equals engine. He reads them often. His boss noticed and started calling him English boy. The garage became both his workplace and classroom. This is where passion meets hard work. Lunch break with learning. At noon, the garage takes a lunch break for an hour. Aman eats simple food: rice, vegetables, and sometimes roti. He finishes eating in 15 minutes and opens his notebook. Under a tree outside the garage, he studies silently. He reviews vocabulary, practices spelling, and reads small passages. Sometimes he watches short English videos with subtitles. He repeats the dialogues to improve his speaking flow. His favorite channel is about English conversations in daily life. He writes down one sentence and tries to use it during the day. If he can't understand something, he notes it to ask later. Many workers sleep during lunch, but Aman studies. This habit slowly made him more confident with words. Lunch became not just a break, but a learning hour. It shows how we can use time wisely, even in busy lives. His mind was always active, always learning. Evening practice. Aman finishes his garage work by 6 p.m. He washes his hands and face to remove the grease. Then he walks to a small park nearby for fresh air. There, he practices English speaking alone by walking and talking. He acts like he's having a conversation with someone. He practices dialogues like, "Hello, how are you today?" He also records his voice to check pronunciation later. Sometimes people stare, but he doesn't care anymore. He knows every minute he practices brings progress. His favorite phrases are, "Never give up," and "Keep trying." He also greets people in English to build confidence. Once, he even helped a tourist find directions in English. That moment made him proud of his improvement. Evening is when he reflects and sharpens his skills. Speaking aloud is his secret tool. The story behind the dream. One day, I asked Aman, "Why do you want to learn English?" He looked at me and smiled with sparkles in his eyes. He said, "Ma'am, I want to open my own garage someday. But I want to welcome foreign customers and speak with them." He had once met a foreign tourist who needed bike help. Aman couldn't speak much English then and felt embarrassed. That moment became the turning point in his life. He promised himself he would never feel helpless again. He didn't just want to fix machines, he wanted to grow. He knew English could connect him to the world. He also wanted to read manuals and learn from global mechanics. A big dream in a small heart. That's Aman's story. I was touched by his motivation and strong mindset. Even a garage boy can dream big and work hard. And English was his chosen ladder. His study corner at home. After returning home at 7 p.m., Aman helps his mother. He fetches water, sets plates for dinner, and cleans up. By 8 p.m., he starts his evening study routine. He has a small table in the corner of his room. There's one bulb, a notebook, a pen, and 2 English books. On the wall, he has pasted quotes like, "Practice makes perfect." He starts by revising what he learned during the day. Then, he writes 5 sentences using new vocabulary. After that, he reads 1 page from a short English storybook. He marks new words and writes their meanings in Hindi. He tries to speak those lines aloud for fluency. This corner is his favorite part of the house. It's where dreams are shaped word by word. Even if it's a small space, it's full of big goals. That table glows with purpose every night. Sunday. A day of English immersion. Sunday is a man's favorite day of the week. The garage is closed, so he has the whole day free. But instead of sleeping in, he wakes up at 6 a.m. He starts with watching English cartoons to improve listening. Then he reads a short article from an English magazine. He plays vocabulary games on his phone to test himself. In the afternoon, he watches English movies with subtitles. He writes down 10 phrases from some movie that he likes. He practices saying them again and again with emotion. Sometimes he even tries to act out the scenes. In the evening, he joins a free speaking group online. He talks to people from different cities to gain confidence. His Sunday is full of English from morning to night. That's how he builds strong foundations without any school. He calls it his English festival. The day of the interview one day, Aman heard about a part-time job at a tourist bike rental. The job required basic English communication with foreigners. He prepared for 2 days, practicing greetings and questions. He memorized lines like, "Would you like a helmet?" and "You can return the bike by 6 p.m." He was nervous but excited to test his English. He wore his cleanest shirt and carried a copy of his notes. At the interview, he smiled and greeted, "Good afternoon, sir." The manager was surprised by his confidence. A man answered simple questions clearly and respectfully. He said, "I am learning English every day, sir." The manager smiled and said, "I can see that." A man got the job and shouted with joy outside. That was the first real reward of his English efforts. Dreams were no longer far away. Zoya's message to learners. As an English teacher, I feel proud when I talk about Aman. He didn't have fancy books, a tutor, or a school, but he had consistency, passion, and the will to grow. He used his time, surroundings, and even strangers to learn. He made every part of his day useful for English. From tea time to tire changing, he learned everywhere. If Aman can find learning in grease and gears, why can't we? You don't need perfect conditions to start learning English. You only need the courage to begin and the will to continue. Practice a little every day, even if it's just one sentence. Use your voice, read aloud, and never be afraid of mistakes. Create your own study corner, like Aman did, and believe that English can change your life too. Because language is not just words, it's power. Let Aman's story become your motivation. Learning from customers. Back at the garage, Aman saw every customer as a teacher. He listened carefully when someone spoke in English. If he didn't understand, he would politely ask, "Can you repeat slowly?" He kept a small notebook in his pocket to write new words. Once, a customer said, "The engine is making a weird noise." A man quickly wrote down the word weird and learned it meant strange. He began asking questions like, "How was your ride today?" Some laughed, some helped him correct his sentences. Instead of being shy, Aman used every chance to speak. The more he interacted, the more natural he became. He used body language to support his English when stuck. Each conversation made him braver and more fluent. He was no longer afraid of English. He welcomed it. That's how he turned customers into classroom partners. Every word became a building block of progress. His English Diary 1 habit changed Aman's learning speed like magic. A daily diary. Every night, he wrote 5 to 7 lines in English about his day. He wrote things like, "Today I changed the oil of a scooter," or "I learned the word recommend from a customer." He didn't worry about grammar at first, just wrote freely. Over time, his sentences got clearer and more correct. He even added expressions like, "I was tired but happy." This helped him express feelings and actions in English. He would read old pages and notice his improvement. Sometimes he asked me to check his writing and guide him. That diary became his best friend in the learning journey. It was like a mirror showing his English growth. Writing helps thinking, and thinking sharpens language. I always tell my students, write to remember, write to speak. Aman lived that advice daily. Words from the radio one day. Aman discovered something wonderful. A local English radio show. While cleaning the garage floor, he played it on a small radio. He listened to conversations, news, and word games in English. He didn't understand everything, but he kept listening. He picked up common phrases like, "coming up next," and "stay tuned." He repeated them softly and tried using them with friends. Listening daily improved his pronunciation and rhythm. It felt like learning through music, fun and effortless. When he heard a new word, he guessed its meaning from context. Later, he checked the dictionary to confirm. This habit made him love English more deeply. Language became a sound he was familiar with, not afraid of. Soon, he could understand small stories and jokes on the radio. That little device became a powerful teacher. His world was expanding through sound. The festival surprise. During a local festival, Aman had a chance to show his skills. A foreign couple's scooter broke down near the celebration area. People gathered, confused, but couldn't speak English. Aman stepped forward confidently and said, "Hello, may I help you?" The couple smiled and explained their problem. He listened, nodded, and replied in simple but clear English. "I will fix it. Please wait 15 minutes. He worked quickly while also asking them about their trip. They were surprised a garage boy could speak English so well. After the repair, they said, "You are amazing! Thank you!" A man replied, "You're welcome. Have a nice day." The crowd clapped and looked at him with pride. For the first time, his English helped others beyond learning. That day, he became a local hero. His story inspired many more to start learning. His favorite English words. Aman has a list of words he calls "my power words." These are words that make him feel strong and smart. His top 5 are confidence, believe, practice, improve, and success. He repeats them every morning like a mantra. I have confidence. I believe in me. I practice daily. I improve every day. I will achieve success. He writes them on his notebook, on the wall, even on his toolbox. These words are more than vocabulary. They're his mindset. He also learns one new word every day and uses it in a sentence. He jokes, "One word a day keeps failure away." Language is not just grammar. It's power, emotion, and attitude. That's what Aman learned through his favorite words. If you choose your own power words, you'll feel the change. Start with just one and let it guide your learning. Words can build the future, one day at a time. Teaching others. As Aman's English improved, others began to notice. One day, a younger boy at the garage asked, "Bhaiya, how do you speak English?" Aman smiled and said, "I practice every day. Want to learn?" Soon, 3 boys started joining Aman during lunch breaks. He taught them simple greetings and useful words. They repeated after him like it was a fun game. He explained words using real tools. "This is a spanner. Say it." Teaching helped Aman become even better at speaking. He revised grammar rules while explaining them to others. This small group grew week by week. It wasn't a formal class, but it was full of learning. Everyone sat on tires and listened to Aman's English tips. He created a friendly classroom in the middle of a garage. His journey inspired others to begin their own. Now, he wasn't just a learner. He was a leader.